right, my friends, we are starting a touch early because it's a very long show, and I'm gonna be invaded a little bit later. So I need to get it set. I need to at least make some progress. I might end up doing more tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. Yeah. Okay. So let's begin. Newsfeed. Boom. View all. I view it all. And we have 33, I think, today. I don't know. That's the kind of thing that could end my life. And I'm gonna bring my little mic closer in here. First up, we have Rithinyar, and I was looking at some tech stuff on our site in terms of the game. So I know that Rithinyar doesn't have any games up, but they just joined. And what happens when you join the Dojo? Immediate progress happens. Did well on the checkmate tests. So any clubs here? So Rithinyar, great that you're here. Obviously, you're going to go up some more since you've gone up so fast. And, put some business up here. And actually, look, you're in the wrong cohort. So the best thing for you to do is definitely put yourself in the right cohort, which is the 500 to 600 cohort. Okay, let's move on. Next up, we have Enroque. I also checked if Enroque had games, but Enroque didn't. Your communities can chat with each other now, it says on Twitch. You can leave the shared chat session at any time in your stream together settings. Okay, got it. I have no idea what that means. Ace on Chess, hi. Yeah, like I said, I'm trying to, it's a long one, and I'm going to get invaded a little later. Okay, so Enroque just joined, doesn't have any games. You can see, though, playing a lot. Already graduated twice in the correct cohort. Just gains, joining the dojo, and gains are happening. So, done some tactics, done the end game. It's looking great for Enroque. Has Enroque got any? No clubs. So, let me just take a look at the activity. That's great, doing a lot of games and tactics. Basically almost done with their tactics on the site. So, looks good. Enroque, you're going to make progress, obviously, because you're doing the work, and I encourage you to annotate some of these games. Right, beautiful. Okay. West of Wapeton. Hello. All right, let's look at Blake. I think Blake also doesn't have any games, so we're going to double check that, though. You can see that Blake has been doing a lot of tactics, and it's looking pretty good here for Blake. But Blake is in the wrong cohort. Blake, you're in the wrong cohort, buddy. You're in the wrong cohort. So I think you should put yourself in the right cohort, and then we're going to see more what's going on. There's Medicine Chess on the Discord. Okay, now, Dark Knight Philosopher wrote me a novel. Let's read this novel here. Biggest thing that I'm continuing to work on is playing more games. I don't really enjoy the rapid games too much at this stage because I rush and don't think through my moves well enough or slow down to think things through and run out of time. On reflection, this led me to decide to switch to Lichess Classical instead of ChessCom Rapid. I tried to wait until I played enough games to get a decent estimate of my rating. It may still be overestimated, but it's still quite above the threshold for the next cohort and no longer provisional, so I decided to move forward. Playing more 30-0 games has been really fruitful for me, and I feel that I am playing better already and have more time to think through what I am doing. I expect after I feel a bit more comfortable in my ability to calculate and or intuition improve, then I will enjoy the rapid games more. The most positive things about the dojo for me so far are the accountability of the task list and the community on Discord and the training plan. Intending to play the Ohio Chess Congress at the end of August and excited to continue improving. Okay, that's great. It's interesting. I wonder if we're going to look if we have an Ohio Chess Club. I was hanging out at the U.S. Senior with some dudes from Athens, Ohio. I didn't even know Athens, Ohio existed until I met those people. Fleefers, thank you for subscribing. So let's take a look at the Dark Knight Philosopher. So, Here he goes. He's been doing a lot of games and analysis. 699, looking great. Might be ready to graduate soon. And you can see really had a big jump before. Now, interestingly, the chess.com is different. I totally understand why the switch was made. And let's just say that if you can think about chess rating systems a little bit like currencies, and sometimes currencies become inflated, and we've had a lot of trouble with Lichess in the past because they start you off at a very high rating. So maybe just, I think it's great that you're improving here, but maybe just take this with a little bit of a grain of salt here, this 699. It might be real, but it might not. For example, your tactics rating is a pretty good indicator, and there you're at 493. Okay, so teacher at a classical school, philosophy, government, literature. Okay, graduate work in philosophy, existential phenomenology. That sounds like Hegel. So, okay. Well, that's great. I'm interested in this guy. So, we got some clubs. Was this Ohio? Toledo, Ohio Dojo Club with the 2 members. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. I played a tournament in Cincinnati once in 1993, 94 maybe. But that's the only time I've played in Ohio. Okay, let's look at some games. The Dark Knight has been working on it, I think. Here we go. We have a couple new innovations. One of them is that it's automatically going to show me the most recent game first. And here we got the Dark Knight. Also, it used to show the time control, and now it doesn't anymore. We're going to try to fix that. Pablo Kelly, this is the Chess Dojo website. Yeah, buddy. ChessDojo.club. Let's type it in there, bud. Boom. All right. So, here we go. We're going to look at the time graph. We got a little time graph going on there. And as you can see, the Dark Knight, a member of the dojo, is going to use his time much better than some random online chump. Now, I want to share with you, maybe Jan Gustafsson is already in the chat. He often watches this show. But he helped us do a little improvement. Hopefully he'll do more with us. He's a developer, man. And so now when you scroll over the time graph, what you can see is what at any given point, what the... actually, excuse me. Let me fix this. Hold on. Kraai, you got to fix some things. Hold on here. So, hold on. Where's my time graph, bro? Boom. Boom. There it is. Okay. So, what happens now when we scroll over it? Okay. Let me get it correct, Mundo. Is it shows you what each person's time is at any given move and what the ideal is. So a small but nice improvement. And actually, I don't know if they did an evaluation. They didn't do an evaluation, but it also shows the evaluation at any given point. So that's kind of cool. All right. So we're going to go back to the game review. And D4, fine. I like the annotations. At this level, we want to keep it super simple. Fine. Poor. And black is moving instantly. No bueno, right? Good move. Bishop D6. And now kind of a spicy situation. I like what you did. You defaulted to development. Fine. Knight e7, and now this move I really don't like too much. Why? Because it's not developing. So a very basic move you could have done would have been to take and then play e4, or if you just continue developing. That's also a fine way to play the game. But we really want to be... Oh, cry. Oh, buddy. Sorry about that. This happens almost every time. So here we go. But I fixed it in time, kind of. Let's back up a second. So I want to go back. Good development. Poor, not developing. Good. Okay. Castles. Great. And this is what I meant by defaulting to development. It's a complicated position, but if you don't know what to do, develop. Knight e7, and now this was the move that I was chastising. It's not a developing move, and the default could be queen e2. You could also take on d6 and play e4, right? You rook e1. All of these are going to be good moves. You got to bring your people out. g5. Now, they might thought that this was winning a piece. Unfortunately for them, you can just take on d6, and it's questionable whether black really wants that big pawn on g5. Knight f5. What's the problem with this move? It's not developing. And now e4, very nice move. And if they take, they're going to open up the position, and they're not developed, so you're doing great. Great. Queen f8, weird. Queen e7 is a little bit more sensible, right? Allows you to castle later. Rook e1's now a good move. Good move. Look at that. Yeah, buddy. That's good chess. Oh, that's good chess too. Bad chess. Why not? Because it's not developing. Thank you very much. And now you do a real frisky move that I think I'm okay with. Yeah, that's a pretty interesting move. You want to open up the position and crank him on these two open files. I like this knight c5. It's time, when they don't develop, this is how we should tend to hurt them. All right, queen e7, maybe a good move. Now you got a couple good moves. You played queen b3. Okay, now if I have any objection to queen b3, it's that maybe black could play e5 and live. So maybe queen e4, keeping contact with the knight to prevent e5. Okay, but this is still a nice move. King f7, that looks suspect. Now knight d4 looks strong. Rook d2. Snip, oh, I don't like that. And you mentioned rook d8, good. Okay, now we've lost our advantage. And black plays g4, good move. And now it's going to force our knight away. And we have also lost control of the d file. So notice how it happened real quick. By the way, one thing I want to say about this game is that, actually my little business is not quite correct, the Mundo. Let's put there. There we go. One thing we want to say about this game is, for an under 1,000 cohort game, what's a little bit remarkable about it is that no one's hung any pieces. Okay, so normally that's the way things are decided. And so both players in that respect are playing well. That is a frisky move. I definitely think they should take on h4. But maybe they could play chess like this. Good move. Poor move. And now you can play queen e4 and win that coconut. Good move. Ooh, he's getting loopy here. So, queen e3, that's no good. And definitely either take on f3 or play queen h7 check. Now we're just down a pawn. Take on f3, please. Ooh. You were right, me wrong. I didn't think he was going to give you the pawn. Very nice move. Queen e4, then take on f3. Oh, good move. Oh, you're playing some good moves here, buddy. Queen h7. Now, okay. I think. Now, couldn't you have played, that's some interesting stuff, actually. Because h4, king g4, maybe he gets in. Oh, h3. Now queen g7 check. And now g4. Okay, good. And is he escaping? Uh-oh. No bueno, Lucy. Queen g2? He talks about king h1, after which we're probably toast. So, a couple things here. One, You will play many games against opponents who give you too much time, who don't develop like this guy. We want to learn to get better at that. Number 2, when we're in this position here in our post-mortem, that is our analysis afterwards, we really want to look at it and be like, well, wait a second, how am I going to mate or win this position? It's got to be winning, or at least that's the feeling I have, that this thing's got to be winning. Now, the easy solution, maybe there's a better one, but the easy solution is to say, hey, at the bare minimum, Bows, I'm just going to take this bad boy and claim I'm winning because the king is so horrendous. Okay? There's probably something else. In fact, you have this variation. It goes a little long, but you don't have to go longer than this. Okay, and you spent 2.5, almost 3 minutes here. So, very typical. Let's focus on your opponent for a second, because you're going to see them again and again. They move too fast. This is going to happen until you get to like 1200 chess.com, or, the equivalent Lee chess. They move too fast, and they don't develop. All right? So, great annotations. Don't worry about it. We want to get better at taking advantage of positions like this, where they're just totally undeveloped. Okay? Queen e7. And you have a lot of good moves here, my friend. You do. But we want to, really try to put them away. And honestly, sometimes it's harder than it seems, harder than, maybe we feel it should be. Another basic play would be rook e6, queen e6, rook e1. And the basic claim is like, you get the 2 rooks for the queen, but look at this, you have this. Oh, and this is what he calls the engine-assisted line. I didn't even see that. But let's just say engine smingen, the point would be that his pieces are discoordinated, and you're going to try to mate him with the queen. Okay, great. Well done. Don't feel bad about losing that one. You're going to get this guy most of the time. All right, next we got Soul Driver. I think I remember Soul Driver. I mean, you got it. Look at those graduations. He's just been graduating all the time. Now, as you can see, dude joined and has graduated a bunch. He's at 614, looking great. Clubs. All right, great. I guess I hit clubs kind of, I want to find out where people are from, or maybe something about them. If they don't tell me anything. All right. So, some work's being done. He just got here. Let's hit this My Games. And I might have already looked at this one. We're going to see. Yeah, I already looked at this one. Okay, so Soul Driver, obviously we want you to do more games so that we can look at them. Your rating's going up. If you keep it up with the study, you're doing 8 hours, kind of 8 hours a week, you will progress for sure. What up, Alan Chess? All right, next up we have Fern. Fern says, I still have to play a classical match this weekend, but I applied the general idea of taking things slow and analyzing the game afterwards. I was blitzing my rapids before. Very good. I'll give Fern a follow here. Just joined. It looks like it's going straight up, but it's actually just 2 points. It's 2 points. All right, Fern doesn't have any clubs yet. Maybe no games. Yeah, one of the innovations we're going to do is it's going to show me how many games. We're just little things we're working on the dojo all the time. So Fern just joined. She knows what to do. She's going to play some games. She's going to annotate them. And we're going to see her back here at our next graduation. Next up, we have Peduplo. Working consistently on the recommended books has been doing wonders for my progress, but I am definitely facing tougher challengers now. I believe that. So there you can see it. Peduplo joined the dojo and has just been on it every single week. Great. Great work. Great progress. You can see actually they worked for a while. Sometimes this happens and it didn't show. Oh, I was going to say it didn't show up, but look what it actually is. What actually happened is it's been when he started working that the progress came. He's in Brazil, stopped lifting heavy things. Now with 30 members. I remember last week we had 28. And it's just been an interesting thing that club is the one who graduates the most. Games. Boomba. Nothing. Padeplo. Buddy, we need some games in there. He's been doing a lot of tactics. He's definitely been, it says he's, it's kind of weird because he's got, maybe he's just playing. Maybe we'll look real quick. We'll go full training plan. He's pinned the Polgar mates. That's good. That's great. Go games and analysis. Yeah, he hasn't played any games. He's done some of these blunder games. Okay. It's actually weird, though. I have a feeling there's some show 3 completed tasks. There's things that maybe he hasn't logged because I'm seeing a lot of yellow here, which is games and analysis, and we're not seeing as much in terms of what's going on here. Are you going to really deep dive at Kraai? I don't know if you need to, but here he's got some blunder games. Yeah, he's doing a lot of the blunder games, though. It said there was only 2 there. All right, great, well done. And next up, we have the famous wrenches and benches. I covered this dude in I'm doing a series called How to Make X, how to make 500, 600, and I covered him in one of those. So really cool to see that he has graduated again. All right, let's take a read here. Finally, what a difficult up and down to the next level. I've been studying chess every day for just over 2 years straight now. I can honestly say that this cohort was full of ups and downs. It was a very difficult journey. 2025 has been a busy chess year for me. I played my first several tournaments, which earned me a USCF of 917, which I thought about switching to. I have traveled and attended a training camp, which was amazing, and there may be another in a few months. I feel that my chess is in fact getting stronger, especially OTB, which I still much prefer to online play. Seeing GM Jesse use my account as the How to Reach 900 ELO video was amazing. Thank you. Thank you for letting me do that to you. I still have yet to find a reliable training partner in the dojo, to the point I have given up on the task. I also stay away from the Discord, which unfortunately I find way too confusing and such for me. I am sure other members have had more luck with both. I will continue to log my time and follow the plan. Switching to my USCF rating will allow me to go up even one more cohort, but I think I may hold off on that. I've been trying to add more annotated games to my database. I did purchase the dojo book on how to analyze games, which I'm working on. I do enjoy David's method of going over games so far. I appreciate all the hard work and effort that comes with the dojo, and I look forward to continuing to learn and grow. Beautiful. Okay. Now, wrenches and benches, I think he's around, I don't know, he's got to be around my age. And so anyone around my age, maybe he's younger. You don't want to insult him. He might be young. You don't want to call somebody an old man, buddy. But anyways, as somebody, older dudes, the Discord can be kind of, it can be kind of a thing, which I appreciate. Okay, so he is the founder of this Putnam, Connecticut club. He's got New England Dojo. Maybe he'll get some other people in that Putnam club. Actually, he could start his own, let's call it ChessDojo affiliate, get everybody a break on their membership if he gets them into the club. That would be cool. Also be cool to have your own scoreboard and club here. All right, so wrenches and benches, like I said, you can watch the vid I did on him and his progress. And let's just look at this rating. You can see he's playing a lot and he's flying up there. With the USCF, I'm going to guess that he's maybe not played that many tournaments yet, but definitely eventually, especially when he feels like it's stabilized, he'll want to switch to this. Okay, so here we go. Games. Let's go booms. Now, as I said, we've got it almost live. That this will automatically show me the most recent game. This is from a while back, but hopefully I haven't already looked at this. Let's see here. I want to mark it as reviewed. There we go. The times aren't here. This is a this probably is an OTB. All right, here we go. So, a weird move, and now we just want to play chess, right? Good. Fine. 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 And now knight b4, that doesn't look weird. That doesn't look right to me. You're right. I saw the capture of d3 and a possible pawn fork on e4 as the most desirable move. I should have brought my knight back before, but I decided to move forward. At this point, it's all I have to stay even with the knight. I don't know what even means. Okay, so the issue is pretty obvious. The issue is obvious. Is your knight getting trapped? Now, he does have a fascinating way out of this because his opponent falls for it. So what's the idea? He's saying to himself, you know what? I'm going to zap him here and whap him here. But the knight is so off sides. I'm worried, a stronger player might have seen through that and played, I don't know, let's say e4. And the question I have is, how are we going to stop our knight from getting munched? It looks like that guy's going to get munched. So, knight b4, we should put a question mark next to that. Question mark next to a3. Nice tactic. I appreciate the tactic. And from a strategic point of view, we want to say that a3 was a loss of tempo. But queen d4 wins a tempo back. And now you're just going to develop. Good. Good move. Castles. And now I don't like this. You say, I was concerned about the knight jumping to g5. Well, you know what I want to do? I want to put a rook or a queen over here to talk. I like the rook better first. Right? h6 is not a developing move. Good. Poor. The problem with this move is when you move the bishop, the knight will simply be misplaced on h4. Something I've noticed about players, even all the way up to 2000, is they might be very tactically strong, but they have a hard time when it comes to just improving their position. So, and instead of trying to actually improve the position, they do like little attacking moves, like this one, little attacking moves. What are you doing, buddy? What are you doing? So a4, a5 makes sense. Very basic could be to rook ac1, intending c5. He's got a lot of good ideas. Knight on f3 was a good piece. Now you should definitely move it back. Back to d7. Ooh, I don't like that move. And now he snips. Yeah, so this looks very unpleasant for black. So imagine snip, snop, snook, snark here, and he's got the d file, he's got some weakened pawns, you have to worry about knight h4. Is not so pleasant for a peasant, as they say in the old country. Okay. I don't like it. We don't care if he goes h4. Put your rook over here, wrenches and benches. Basic development. Get religious. Get religious about development. I don't understand what your opponent is. I guess he wants to play knight g4. This is insane. Ooh, nice one, wrenches and benches, buddy. Nice one. Wow, that's props, dude. That's props. Woo, look at this. Wrenches and benches don't play. He's a man of the fork. Okay, so I want to I want to just say a couple of things. Wrenches and Benches came up with a pretty elaborate tactic, even if it was unsound, to play knight b4 and knight d3. Fork. Here, it looks like he, by his notes, he's like, yeah, I saw this coming 1,000 miles away. And this is definitely like some advanced skills here. Yeah, if you can find this, all we have to do is get a little bit of positional play going on, and we're going to be doing great. All right. Boom. Well, that's not going to help him. I think rook a8's fine. Queen d3. King g7. Now here, it is very important to put our knight on the square because we do not want to give our opponent the ability to get the knight to f5. So this is, again, you did great tactically, but now we're going to have a little positional problem. Now he's got probably a reasonable position. You go for more tricks. Okay. h3. Bam. Holy moly. My idea here was to increase the danger levels on the queen. Dang. Okay, I want to say I don't totally... I think you're in trouble, by the way. I think you're in big trouble. So this is like... feels a little bit like desperation. And I guess this is just losing, right? So now we're toast. Queen takes f2. Okay, so I want to say, Wrenches and Benches, that you showed some definitely, let's call them 1,800 plus skills in this game, and then failed on a subject I think is much harder to learn. So I think the whole thing that you showed, the skill level with the tricks, great. What you need to learn is easier, and that is you need to learn to feel the importance of developing your pieces, and you need to get just religious about it. Your opponents are also not going to develop, as we saw in this game. Right? Develop the pieces, and you won't have to, let's call it reach for these difficult tactics. They will be there. So the tactics that you set up here, beautiful, they're going to be just a part of the game for you once you start developing your pieces. All right, beautiful. That was great. Dude, we're at the 700, 800 cohort, and we're talking about this kind of skill level with Queen F2. There we go. That's real. All right, next up we got the Ozark Gaint. I almost read Giant. The Ozark Gaint. Does anyone know what a Gaint is? Just joined, did some tactics. I have a feeling they don't have much here. Let's go look. They got some games. Oh, we got a game. The Ozark Gaint. But this is from 2024. Let me just make sure in the My Games folder we don't have more. Yeah, so this is an ancient game. In general, I want to cover games that are more recent. The Arkansas Chess Club. Okay. We got 10 people, Bows. Oh, that's great. That's great. So he joined a while back, but then just recently came and started doing some tactics. So hopefully we'll see him again, get some games going on. All right, beautiful. Next up, we have Victoria, who I kind of remember. She's graduated a bunch. Blind woman chess player from Brazil. Wow. She uses an adapted board. Oh, this is very interesting to me. I was thinking that I should try. It's been, I did it as a kid, but I should try some blindfold exercises kind of thing. Victoria's doing it all the time. So it's a little bit confusing to me, like different levels of blindness. I feel like I'm definitely slowly going blind. There's no question about it. So as an older dude, if I imagine myself at like 90 years old, if I make it to 90, I will probably be blind. And then I would still like to be playing chess, dude. I'll be senile and blind, dude, and all these chumps will be like, yep, I beat a GM. I don't care. I don't care. I'll just be playing with my blind adapted board. Thank you, buddy. All right. Josiah was in the chat. Amable was in there too. Sorry about that. I try to look at both the Twitch and the YouTube. I don't always make it. But cool that you guys are here. I'll try to pay more attention. Now, Victoria, she was very busy April and May. Well, she sloughed off a little bit, and that's where we got this plateau. But now she's back up, 854. Let's go take a look at our games here. Bang, bang. So, boom. Look, and here we got a time graph. And this is a very typical time graph where Victoria did markedly better than her opponent. Her opponent wasn't thinking. Just wasn't thinking at all, right? Forget about it. And she could have done better, but, at this level, if you just think, he's not thinking at all. Okay, so we're going to get into it. I want to say this is very typical. This is why we created the time graph, to shame the dojoers that move too fast, and just to give them a sense of, this is what a good time graph looks like. All right, here we go. Game review. A little bit strange. Fine. Poor. Good. Poor. Fine. Good. Poor. Okay. It's a little controversial, but it's absolutely true that you are killing both the knight on B1 and the bishop on B2. In a sense, I think the argument for this move is to say that you have undeveloped the bishop. C3, please don't take that. Good move. Poor. Bishop B7. I like knight D5. Knight D5 looks really crushing. Bishop B7 is good, though. You're defaulting to development. Weird. Right? Knight D5 is crushing, and if you're not knight D5, then castles. Okay, poor, not developing. Now, I definitely think we should take this guy and then look to open up this business. This person's also giving us the G4 square. So, for example, boom, 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 it's game over. We got knight E3, we got bishop H4. Actually, I'm just realizing I'm doing this thing as if she can see the board, but maybe she can't. Maybe she can listen to it. So I'm going to try to be a little bit more explicit. So 9 castles, FE5, knight E5. And I don't like that move either, knight E5, because you're relinquishing some control over D4. So what would have been better? Knight G4. So on knight G4, you're threatening knight E3, and if you need to, you can take back the pawn on E5 as well. Bishop B7, poor move. They gotta take on D4, not just to win the central pawn, but to get the bishop on B2 involved. B8, bishop G2, knight EG4, beautiful. Beautiful move. H3, terrible. Terrible, inviting the knight in, knight E3. That thing's landing with a thunk. Queen B2, check to the miserable king. King F1. Now you played bishop C6. It's okay. Knight E3. Knight E3 I like a lot better, actually. We just know we want to put the knight back. Rook H2, check to the miserable king. Rook takes B3. Beautiful. Beautiful. C takes, knight F3. Let's bishop C5, fine. Fine. Bishop A8, fine. Knight C4, fine. We'll take that thing. Oh, rook G3, beautiful chess. Look at how the white is totally pinned down. Now, I just want to say something about this position, this kind of position, because it's the kind of thing that will happen at this level. Namely, they aren't developing. And when they don't develop, this is what it should look like. Knight E4, good. Oh, didn't save the queen. Boom. Now, if I was going over Benny's game here, I'd say, Benny, bows. I bet you could have played better chess if you had used your time. But it's important for us to understand as dojoers that we're going to play loads of chumps who just won't use their time. Good move. Rook g2. a4 doesn't make any sense. Not developing. Check to the miserable king. Queen c7. Fine. Easy chess. Queen g3. Fine. We'll just take a couple coconuts. d3. Oh, man, look at this beautiful chess. Oh, checkmate. Checkmate. Okay. Well done, Vittoria. That was great. Really well done. Okay. Blind chess player from Brazil. We got it going, huh? Chris says, after a long break, I am glad to be back. I guess by my rating, I have to graduate, although I just did one game analysis so far, hoping to add many more. Okay, beautiful. So here's Chris. Got up to 900. Let's go hit the grad show button, Jesse. I joined last year. And really, it looks like, the last couple weeks has gone for it and then got paid for that instantly here with a good graduation. Any clubs going on? European Dojo. We got loads of people there. He's done some tactics, and he says he's got one game. Let's go take a look at that game. Uh-oh. That's weird. Okay. So let's look at this one. I don't know why it wasn't uploaded to my games. So, clock usage, here we go. And as you can see, the dojo player did better than the white player, right? You can see here too that the white player wasn't completely ridiculous, but basically, they just really didn't use their time. Again, now, let me just say, I say it every week, of course, we could still lose the game if they don't use their time. But it's just like the competitive edge we get is amazing. And the whole point of playing a longer game in terms of chess improvement is to really sink into the position, right? To do some deep thinking. And you're not going to, these opponents aren't doing it. Okay, fine. And now f4, and you correctly say, I perceive this as aggressive move. Very true. I actually covered this in my aggressive repertoire for white. So, d6, fine. Bishop g4, basically fine. h3. So now you're going to pull it back. Maybe you can play chess that way. I like bishop f3 followed by knight d4. At least that makes a lot more sense to me. Now, one thing I do know about this position is that the anti-intuitive bishop b5 is very unpleasant because it puts incredible strain on the center. Yeah, very difficult. But white doesn't know that. Snips. Now we're going to get an interesting position. So white probably felt that they might have said a story like, oh, double pawns, that's great for me. But no, it's not that great for you, buddy. Because it's a good example of somebody playing for the double pawns, not thinking about the other things going on in the position. This bishop is still a monster, right? These pawns actually do great central control. Yeah, and this knight isn't going anywhere too soon. We're up in development. So, bishop g5. You probably had other moves, but I'm okay with queen d7. Castles. Now, maybe. That's pretty frisky. The easy move would have been rook f8. Now, black steals a pawn here with bishop takes. If I was black, I'd be a little, I don't know, I would be a little concerned with this, but honestly, dude is so far down in development that this shouldn't live. Queen d4, we're going to threaten mate. Yeah, no, we can't play just like that. As an example, queen e2, rook here, bishop d8, queen g8. He's wrecked. Okay, so bishop f6, pawn takes. What is white doing? They're not developing. Good move. Now rook f8. Good move. I think it's over. Queen h6, bishop f2. All right, he spent 3 seconds on this position. Here you should have an intuitive sense that it's time to really think about what's going on. And what you said about bishop f2, thought it would give me better chances if my opponent can't castle anymore. Thought about queen f6 instead, but after castling from white, the position would be bad for me. That's why you want to find queen h6, preventing castling, getting ready for queen e3. It's too much. That's going to be a mate. Oh! I blew it. So let me just brief thing here. A brief thing. I invented this scene here where I split the board because I wanted people to see the notes. But of course, the problem is I'll forget sometimes. Now, I lost like 20 viewers after that, dude. They're just like, Kraai, this is ridiculous. I forgive myself, okay? I forgive myself because I'll probably do it again. Anyways, right here we were talking about bishop f3 being stronger, and also here from white, bishop b5 being stronger. And this was what I was talking about with the double pawns, and black is crushing. Bishop g5, queen d7, rook f1, castles. And here, very important to see, white should be developing something like queen somewhere and then getting out of dodge. Okay? But white does not understand that they're got to develop. Queen g7, good move. Boom. You're crushing. And here's what I was talking about, queen h6. Bishop f2. Now maybe we're still doing okay. King e2, queen h6. See there? You found it. Knight d5, just trying to be a tricker. King b8. I think that's a good move. Rook f1. Now this is actually very interesting. If white can play rook f1 on the next move, then we need to think about this for a second. It certainly seems like we should be winning. The problem with bishop f2 is it actually gave white an extra tempo to get the rook over, which is his main problem. Knight d5 is clever, of course, in that it's covering the e3 square while getting ready for rook f1. Another thing I just actually noticed is white didn't even need to be so fancy. Could have played rook d1, and if check to the miserable king, we just go back and we say, hey, what do you want with me, buddy? I'm safe. I'm safe. So knight d5 frisky. If you wanted to threaten the knight, maybe c6, but rook f1 is going to be the real bummer. And now I think, well, we're going to have a little grief here. Knight e3. Okay. Okay. c3, simple chess. So white is better. Queen f3 makes sense to me. He goes frisky with queen g5. Queen g5 is a good move. Check to the miserable king. I guess a6 was better. And now we're getting wasted. For the next time, I want to remain more calm, taking more time to think about what my opponent wants. Yeah. Now, I want to just say this is a good practical experience. I did a whole video series on Chessable called Mastering Time in Chess. It's also part of the Dojo Training Program. And what it did was it gave players loads of exercises in positions like this, where your opponent has given you time and you need to find how to play against it. And the simple point of that was I'd done so many graduation shows where people were basically winning because their opponent gave them too many developing moves, like this one, right? And so, whether you do that course or not, the bigger point is you are going to have many opponents giving you time for free, and that's why you want to get good at taking advantage of it. That's like your stage here. They give you time. They're not going to hang pieces as much. You end them, right? Okay, they're also like that guy. They're not going to use their time. Okay, let's do another one. Then I got to take a break. We're going to switch the scenes. Thank you very much. Held to Cap. I'm going to give Held to Cap a follow. Looks like they just joined. Might not have done too much. They're actually over what they need to be to graduate. No clubs. I'm going to have a feeling they just haven't done much, maybe. No. So, they've joined the dojo, haven't done too much. Let's do one more before we actually take a little break. That was Held to Cap. Now we have Represso. There's Espresso, and then there's Represso. Pretty new to the dojo. Already graduated twice. 1002 could graduate again if they wanted to. No clubs. Doing a lot of tactics. Let's see if we got some games. Yeah, we got some games. We're going to order this Correctamundo. I haven't covered this one yet. Ooh, look at this time graph, my friends. Wow, what a time graph. So, what do we want to say about this? How come I'm not? Do I need to move this, buddy? Am I moving it the right way or the wrong way? I think I moved it the wrong way. All right, move it again, buddy. Move it again. There we go. It's surprising. I move it quite a bit, and it doesn't do all that much. All right. So, what we want to say about this time graph is that it's pretty rare for players at this level, below, let's say, 1200 dojo, to be below the green line. And I think even if this person lost on time or whatever, they should consider it an accomplishment, because at this level, what we see far more often is people making impulsive moves, not thinking. So it's a really good sign for both players' development that they are thinking here. Okay, so here we go. Game review. I'm not going to forget to hit that little button this time. Here we go. Fine chess. Little weird to play 97. Okay. Little weird to play b3. Little weird to play a6. They're just not developing their people. It's that simple. No, that isn't it. Not develop. What did I say? I said they don't develop. Poor. The bishop's already out. And maybe black got a dare before the game that they should put all of their pawns on white pieces, squares like checkers. Castles. Finally some development. Good job, knight bd2. Fine. Good. Poor, not developing. And now rook e1. And you say, use too much time here looking for tactics with d4, d5. Okay. I think rook e1's fine. Boom, boom. What's the problem with this move? It's not developing. Queen d2. Fine. I think I might like queen c2 better. Rook a d1. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now, c5. And that's just a blunder because dc5 wins a pawn, as you pointed out. Now, let me stress something. I could have used this as well for my course, because it's very typical, an example where black hasn't developed their stuff and there is a problem. So when especially they're down in time and try to open the position, you should say to yourself, oh, Kraai says the value of time goes up when they open the position. And when that happens, that should be my chance to really find something. All right, so d5. You're still doing good. Just missed a big chance, though. Rook e8. That doesn't look right. So Now, we deserve to be winning outright here. You played d6. Bishop f6 makes me nervous because of knight f6. So I don't like bishop f6. That's in his notes. The simple path for me would be de, rook e6, bishop d5, snip, and snop. And it's by no means over yet, but we have a nice advantage with the file and yada yada, right? Typical play might be like this, knight f6, and then we zap him with queen e5. You know, we say, oh, I got a nice little advantage. Is it winning? We could talk about it later, but that's just a nice position for us. Okay, so d6, I understand why you did it. b5, again, opening the position. So, the problem is indeed now that it's going to be hard to actually get at black. All right, c takes, I approved that message, and now you played b4. And he gives a variation with bishop f6 and bishop c6 to achieve knight e5 eventually. I guess I appreciate that. The move that I like is, or at least I would want to look at, is h4. Yeah, I always want to see what he wants to do about that. It is time to attack. All right, b4. Bishop b7, snip, snop, snook, snark, sneak. And his point is that knight c5 is followed by rook c1. So he says, I missed this move and panicked. And he talks about rook c1. Okay, so queen b4, rook c5, rook c1. You're still doing great, of course. Queen f5, h3. Okay. Boom. 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 Knight d7. And now it's a very technical endgame where, in general, black should be okay because dude has blockaded the pawn. The knight is the best blockader of the pawn. Yeah. Okay. Let me just say, you're doing great. You're playing above the level, you're at the 800, 900 to 1,000 level. You're playing definitely higher than that. But just as a chess appreciation note, when you get this kind of position here with the big old pawn on d6, what you're doing is you're obsessing over how do I advance that pawn. And at the moment, it might be kind of hard to do so. So the point would be like, can I give him grief somewhere else, like h4? Can I open up another front whilst he's also dealing with the d6? Because it's a big old bone in his throat that he's got to watch over. And we shouldn't just be like obsessed about pushing the pawn. All right, let's look at how this went. Knight g5. We call that fishing. You're fishing for something. h6, knight e4, f5, good moves. b4. Yeah, the milk has gone bad. Now his king is improved and your knight is bad. Rook c6, rook d2 makes. I understand why you played rook d2. Good. Knight f6, good move. Now we need to play your rook b2 now. King e3, it's probably still okay. Rook d4. Check to the miserable, and now we lose a coconut. Oh, now we're in big trouble. g4. Now, you say the rest is simple for black. I want to encourage you to realize that this guy, this guy hasn't finished you off yet. And a move like g4, when you look at it, it's like, oh, you're just making the f4 pawn much weaker. And the h3 pawn much weaker when you play g4. So you're not toast yet. You might be objectively toast in that the computer might say you're gone or something. But if you just imagine playing a move like g3, I don't know, king c5, rook d3, it's not time to resign yet. All right, G4, and now we're just falling apart. Snip, snap. Good play by black. Good play by black. Yeah, and now we're toast. Okay, so very good game. And we just want to remind everybody that this person didn't develop at all. They didn't develop at all. What are you doing, buddy? What are you doing? And so you're going to play more of these chumps, and we want to get good at exploiting it. We continue. And we have AC Secret, also graduated one time before. Tactics are few but hard. Also wondering why I got below 1,000 tactic training while being able to do all 100%. Could be time usage a little bit. I don't understand that. Maybe that's a chess.com thing. Right. Okay. I think I understand what AC is saying. Sometimes it's hard to find the book. At this level, the book should be very available, right? They should be very available. All right, joined pretty recently. We've got some clubs going on, AJ? AC? Come on, why do you call him AJ? Just joined, graduated twice already. Look at this, boom. Join the dojo, you go up 800 points, bows. That's just the way it is. Games, bang. AC Secret, Baudet moves. Let's take a look. All right, so we're going to see time usage. Now, he talks about losing in the end game. And one very familiar thing to this grad show that we've seen is that once it gets to the end game, people stop thinking. I have a couple theories about this. We're going to see if it applies to this game. I haven't seen the game yet. But we see that at a certain point here, both players just completely stop thinking. And I'll talk about the theory if it applies, right? So. All right, I was trying to understand what Quad XE was saying, but I couldn't get it. All right, here we go. Game review, pop. Mark this, there we go. Fine, good, good, good. Knight f6, poor, good move. Knight g4, and now queen d5 is a very nice move. Castles, and now we want h3, good. And now knight h6. Okay, so one of the things that's very typical here is people are like, oh, I want to take that knight because I want to ruin the king side structure. But think about it, that knight's not going anywhere. That knight's going nowhere, boss. So it would be cool if we could find something else. Castles would be the obvious option. Okay, now b6 I think is a mistake. I feel like d6 has to be the move because we need to bring this guy out. Knight f1, poor, not developing. Now, I do get it. You're trying to be fancy and yada yada. But what is the right move? Castles is the right move. Okay, I still love your position. Good move by black. Good move. So what's happened is you've given black time to get their pieces coordinated. And it was all because of this fancy knight. All right, now knight f5. And the problem is for you, if you don't play knight f5, we're in trouble strategically, right? Because he's going to take on g3. You spent a million tempi trying to get that knight to f5. And your opponent correctly found bishop e4 exclam. Bummer. So what I want you to see is the problem wasn't knight f5. The problem was spending 3 million tempi on knight d2, f1, g3. All right. Key 8, knight e3. I would have preferred king f1. Check the miserable king. Mate threat. I always check. It might be mate. Queen e4. Good. Let's try to get to the end game. Queen e4, rook g8, king g8, fe. Now, here's where we want to tauk. These people started playing instantly here. Instantly. And so I really want to stress that one of the big issues that I see at this level is people think it's like a foregone conclusion or something. And, in general, it's more complicated than all that. In fact, my theory about it is that the end game is actually so difficult in that you got to really think deeply about a sequence of moves that people are just like, dude, I can't take it. I'm just going to make a quick intuitive move instead of thinking about it because I just can't manage. So, bishop e3, rook e8, good move. Rook d1, rook e4, check. To my mind, this is just helping black develop. Notice I'm saying develop. It's definitely a case of development. The king and the rook need to improve. Okay, king e6, reasonable. Rook d7, very nice move. And now rook d4. Now you give a nice note here saying about rook d4 is winning. And I just want to stress here, this is a great example of somebody thinking. As we saw in the time graph, black didn't really think at all here. And yeah, should have gone to the pawn game. What did it require? It would have required some thought. Check. Check. King e2. All right, now we might make it a little hard for him. b5. Rook g4. a5. Okay. a4. These people are still moving super fast. And then, I don't know, somehow it says black wins here. No one knows why. Yeah, no idea. So, my friends, couple things. You will learn to play chess endgames better when you annotate them. And one of the first things you'll do in your annotations is be like, oh, at this level, these people don't think at all in the endgames. And by annotating, you'll be like, oh, wait a second. This is hard. This is hard work. And so you will learn that A, it's hard work, that you have to think, and you'll get good at that kind of thinking. All right, here we go. Grad Show. Let's go back. Whew, it's a long one today. They're trying to kill me today. Sintobo says, second graduation. I'm enjoying the process and particularly looking forward to the Polgar defensive book in the next cohort. I've particularly enjoyed the way one may enjoy running long distances or lifting heavy things. The maiden twos and worked hard to retry incorrect puzzles multiple times and then study the ones that I wasn't finding. Getting through these with effort and persistence is the true sweat work. I decided to set up a Chess.com Rapid account to use as my preferred rating as I find Lichess Classical to be wildly unpredictable and not a good measure of ability. I'll reserve this for classical games in which I can annotate but use Chess.com as my dojo rating. Please, okay, we'll look at your game versus Pablote. Okay. So, great. Thank you, Sintobo. Let's go take a look, and then we'll go take a look at Pablote. So, joined and crushing, my friends. Joined and crushing. Looking really good here. Yeah. Clubs, nothing. Games, we're going to look at Pablote. Let's go. We're getting this fixed. It's coming around. So, Pablote. Uh-oh, wait a second. Where's Pablote? Uh-oh, wait a second. If I go back, am I going to find Pablote? Wait, let's click this here. Isn't this just what I did? Donde está Pablote? Wait, that's what he said, right? Let me just reread this here. My most recent published game versus Pablote. Weird. All right, let me go back again. Do I see a Pablote? Not seeing a Pablote. Well, is anybody in the chat ready to help me with this bad boy? I don't know what to say. I think then we're just going to do the most recent. I do not see Pablote. In any case, this is also your most recent. Let's give it a click here. All right. All right, so here we go. We have a typical issue here. Two issues immediately stand out. White were playing some chump. They didn't use their time. And then it might be another endgame thing. Maybe someone was completely winning at the end and it didn't matter, but we'll double check that when we get to it. I'm falling off the screen. All right, here we go. Fine. Okay, a little weird. Poor, obviously, losing time. What do I say? Always, they're going to lose time. Thank you very much. I hope you said thank you. Fine. 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 A3, terrible. Now, your A6, you didn't really need to do it, but I understand. Knight EG4. Yeah, it's definitely weird. So, you got some interesting comments here. None of them are going to say what I'm going to tell you, which is you need to develop. Now, your position is massive here because you have the extra pawn. Now, someone's saying you should play on the queen side because it's a French. It's not really a French anymore. Dude lost his pawn. So you have many good moves here. And honestly, knight EG4 doesn't spoil anything for you. But basic moves would be knight C4, queen C7, or B5. Sure. Knight EG4 doesn't spoil it. What it looks to me like, though, is you're fishing for some kind of trick to end the game. And now bishop H2, which you say is a double question mark. Is it really a double question mark? Maybe it might be. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. So, the engine says is actually winning. Makes sense to me. So, we talking about knight F2 and all kinds of other stuff. But yeah, dude, no. You're crushing this. Also, queen C7 looks like it would be winning. Because you're going to, maybe that's a little bit more complicated. But the bishop B8 thing and knight F2, all that looks great. Yeah, I think, So what I want you to see, though, the most important thing has nothing to do with any tactics. It's that this is a complicated position and you only spent 58 seconds here. This is definitely one to spend 10 minutes. Timpa says it's in the 800 and 900. Well, why isn't it in the My Games, buddy? Well, no, Nintendo. How come? Maybe we're having a real drama here. Okay, I'm gonna do this, but I just want to stress this is a dojo problem with the My Games. Why isn't it in the My Games? Okay, hold on. So, 800, 900, Sintobo. Why isn't his game in My Games? This is a question for Jack. All right, here we go. Pablote. So, random opponent, FIDE rating 1633. That's pretty high. Totally rando, as you see. Typical chump, not thinking. Right? Okay. So, Doesn't mean we're necessarily going to win. It just means they're not capable of thinking today. Fine. Fine. This is fine. Knight f5, good move. Bishop c2, poor. Good. Fine. Good. Bishop b4. I don't like bishop b4. That is your good bishop. And so you really want to be playing bishop e6. That's the whole idea in this variation, that you allow him to take on f5 to give your bad bishop an extra square where it then just lands like a rock on e6. Poor move, giving up our best piece and enabling the bishop to go to a3. All right. Bishop a3, rook e8. Bishop a3, by the way, we could debate about it. Let's read what he writes. He gives an evaluation. White has a strong pawn chain pointing at the king side. Rook b1 is a threat. Black has double f pawns. White is ahead and developed. We have opposite better position. I believe white is better positionally. Okay. Yeah, let's go back a second. So a couple ideas. You want to play on the light squares. And so if you could achieve knight a5, c4, that would be a good thing. And that's one reason that the bishop might not want to go to a3. Also, if you could achieve f4 and some kind of bishop to one of these squares, that's also something you'd like to achieve. And I bring that up here because the bishop leaving c1 encourages both of those plans. Right? So, there's a bunch of things white could do here. I'm not sure which is the best. I just know the bishop a3 feels a little superficial to me. Queen a5. I wanted that. Okay, now queen d8 though. Queen d8. No. Okay, b6 actually. I don't have any problem with that. Your opponent's playing superficially and you're getting play on the light squares. Good. And now you said thank you very much with queen a2. And you're right. I got tunnel vision only looking at the queen side. Now the problem is though, if you don't play queen a2, you're going to play g6 though, right? And do you really want to play g6? I don't know. I don't know if you want to play g6 because of the weaknesses on the dark squares. So queen a2, queen f5, h6. Reasonable attempt. Now, we should be concerned that our lady is so far from our man here. Queen h3, that makes 0 sense. Okay. Yeah. So big moment for white. He plays this queen h3 in 54 seconds. He needs to be thinking about what to do here. Can he play e6? Can he play g4, g5? Can he do something with h4? These are the questions he wants to answer. Can he get away with rook e3? He has to worry about this. It's a very hard position. You just don't instantly move. Doing nothing. Now we need to fix our knight. Rook a8. I'm not sure I get it. Knight h4. Here's his idea. It takes forever, though. Queen d2. Queen g5. Knight f3. There's a lot I don't understand. Like, why isn't he playing knight f5 here? That looks like the big question for me. Why isn't he going knight f5 there? I don't know. Okay, we're back to the light squares. He's just poking around. Queen g5 finally comes in. Bishop b3, poking around. Bishop c2, good move. Blunder, thank you very much. All right, good. And now you're just winning. So, fine. Knight a5, I'm okay. Bishop b3, I don't like it. Why? Because your bishop wants to come back on this diagonal so that it can prevent rook h3. And also the bishop on b3 is blocking your knight, which would be threatening a fork. Don't understand. Okay. All right. Now, if we had our bishop back here, by the way, we'd just calmly play bishop g6 here. Now I'm worried. Queen g6, good move. Now, are we toast? I think you're totally gone. This is the dark squares. This is why we didn't want to play g6 earlier. And now the critters have been crisped. Okay, so use your time wisely. Good. I think that's definitely true. If we go back and look at your time graph, it was much better than your opponent. What I want you to think about is this person didn't develop, right? Then hung their coconut. So that's very typical of what you're going to see at this level, right? And that's the kind of thing that you want to get good at beating. And I want to especially draw your attention to the move bishop b3 over here on move 30. That's the move that really was like, oh no. Oh no. You think about it, like white has one opportunity here, and that is to play against you on the dark squares on the king side. That's the only shot he's got. And this bishop, which is such a powerful defensive piece, if you just keep it somewhere on this diagonal. Okay, good annotations. Next up, we have Peprizzle, which might be P. Perez. I don't know. P. Perez says, I finally managed to graduate after being close previously, but to end up dropping rating quickly in a bad streak. I started to think I would never be able to make it, but thanks to encouraging words from Blue Guitar Gambit, I've covered Blue Guitar Gambit several times, I decided to continue with the program's advice. Just solving Polgar's mate in twos, mate in threes has helped me to regain focus and improve my calculation, which has made a tremendous difference despite the simplicity of the approach. At the beginning in this cohort, I read Amateur's Mind course on Chessable, which opened my eyes to aspects of the game I was ignoring. To fully take advantage of this, I needed more time to think, so I switched from playing 10-5 to 15-10. I am really enjoying the dojo and will continue to work hard to improve my game. And P. Perez, just can't stress enough, if you can move to 30-0 or more, it should be 30-30 actually in the cohort you're in, that's what you need to do. Worry not, party people. Knows all is here. Knows all. I had a thought. I know that Austin tournament was, I don't know, maybe last month or something. Did you play in that, and how did that go? So, here we go. He wants to improve. He's definitely improving. Look at that. I think he needs to rewrite that profile. Look at that thing. That guy's crushing. So, this is P. Perez. Got a great tactics rating. Where's P. Perez from? Does he say? Chess Dads and Moms. All right. We got some nice activity happening. Dude is doing the work. All right, take it easy, Nose. Take it easy. Take it easy, buddy. That's all right. Oh, man. So, this was fairly recently. Let's presume that we haven't covered this one. I will look at this game. So we don't have times, but we do have a game. Here we go. Fine. Interesting. Poor. Yeah, they get obsessed about knight g5 and they forget to develop their pieces. Knight f6 is normal. Queen f6, terrible. Rook e1, I think e5 would also be a good move. Knight e5, terrible, not developing. Fine. Fine, good chess. Queen h5, good chess. Okay. Now you're just developing, you're doing fine. Poor. Good. Poor. Good. Now, you are saying that you don't like this move, and I get it. I get it. However, I am certain you are winning this position because you have the development and the weakness. Good move. Poor. Should have played king d7. Okay, so now, knight b5, king f7, blunder. a4, poor. Just take the pawn, buddy. Take the pawn. Take the pawn. There we go. Good move. Simple chess. Thank you very much. Soft. Okay, so the problem I want you to see with rook b1 is that this rook is beautiful, and you are undeveloping it on rook b1 where it's going to be very passive. So the simple chess move is bishop c1. Now notice, you could say to yourself, oh, Kraai, isn't that also undeveloping? But the issue is that the bishop still has great scope here and really just completely deadens both of the black rooks by holding the c1 square. It's just goodbye. So technically winning position. Now this is passive. I don't understand g5. Okay. Don't understand bishop f8. Good move. All right, we get a little trade action going. That move's weird to me. You say you're worried about some stuff on the king side. You can't do nothing. Good move. Oh, and that's not... Okay, so we blew it. So all the passive play led to this, where rook c8, he's threatening rook c3. And here, we want to think deeply, can I save the pawn somehow? And the answer is you still can, and you have to find this move, rook a1, so that rook c4 can be met with f3, and you're hanging on to your coconut. Notice, it's not just a coconut, but you have the better bishop. All right, so he's going to win your coconut now. I don't understand a lot of these moves. Now, one of the nice things about having the time graph here is we'd be able to see, like, oh, is this person thinking or not thinking? Like, that looked terrible. Why did they just give us the pawn? Check, okay. Why didn't we go to f3? f3. So, are we winning? Well, it's going to be close. It would be a lot easier if our king were on f3. I don't know. Good move. Good move. h4 is winning. Good move. Bang. Oh, nice move. Yeah, that's a nice one. Goodbye. And now it's all over. So that was a nice finish. Would be cool to know what the time situation was. Also, P. Perez, you were saying that you were doing 15-10 games, but I can see that this one was a 30-20. So that's good to see. And actually, let's just give the spiel here. You were able to slow it down and really think in that endgame. I could see it, right? And that experience of how to, learn how to play endgames like that. Right? I need to go look at Jack's result in that Austin thing. All right, so let's go back. And all right, quick interlude, my friends. Just a quick interlude here. I'm going to go stalk Jack Stenglein here on US Chess. Look up a member. Stenglein. Jick. We will see. He wouldn't, if he did great, he would never tell us. Tournament history. Oh, he hasn't played forever. Yeah. He's gotten up to 1591, though. He's almost ready for that 1600. He did well in April. Dude needs to play a tournament. I remember there was some Austin tournament going on. Jack, what are you doing, bud? Oh, man. All right, Seventh Stitch has graduated so many times. Seventh graduation. Oh, okay. There we go. I knew there was a tournament. I assumed it had already happened. No, so are you playing that bad boy, 15th through the 17th? Seventh Stitch says, hey, Dojo fans. Reached my 7th graduation, which has been the longest one yet. This is mainly due to the limited number of online classical games I've been able to play over the last few months, along with a small stagnation in my rating at the beginning. Following Jesse's advice, I joined a chess club. and has been a fantastic experience so far. Even though we play classical games, I still struggle with time management. Often, I find myself in a winning position, which is encouraging, but I need to improve this aspect of my game. I lost my only match in the city championship because I ran out of time. I tend to overthink my positions when a simpler move would have been better or at least a valid candidate. Regardless, we're making progress. All right, that's beautiful. I think that's dude, 7 graduations. That's the real deal, man. So, Matt Chess is saying we need to put games in the folder. I'm going to talk to Jack about it. It needs to be very automated, so people should not be confused. Like every game you play goes into my games. End of story, right? End of story. You can divvy up my games into, like that guy did, into different levels of dojo or whatever. You go to different tournaments. You can divvy it up however you want, but the my games got to go in my games. All right, here we go. So 7th stitch. Dude, 7th stitch is going for it. Irish. Right. Okay. As you can see, 710 points equals 7 graduations in the dojo, my friends. Dang. 1250, that's a pretty big number. We're getting up there. Okay. So, I'm sure it's the Irish Chess Club. Maybe he'll tell us someday where in Ireland. So, we got 24 people in Ireland. That's pretty great. And we got some games. My games. We're still working on making this a little bit prettier. So, 6-1. All right, here we go. This is fairly... Now, I just want to make sure I got this. This looks correct, Amunda. Okay, so this is going to be... he's got a club rating and stuff. Do we have times? Oh, we do. So this means that dude took the time to write it down on a score sheet. Very helpful. And you can see he definitely performed much better than his opponent when it came to the time, right? His opponent really wasn't capable of thinking. All right, boom. So, fine. Weird, but fine. Weird. Weird. Little funky, and now d5. So when you played c6, you were kind of committed to playing d5, and here we got this full madness going on. Both sides are really doing idiosyncratic moves, not developing. And now we're going to get e5. And you said, this is the moment the police rang me to say that my car was rolling outside the club. Oh, man, that's rough, dude. All right. So was it a mistake to play d5? I think you're all in at this point. You got to play d5. Yeah. So I don't know what white should do. Very complex position. White, both sides are not developing. Idiosyncratic play, as I said. Now, e5, you go for it with knight g4. Knight d7, I guess, would be a little bit more natural, let's call it. h3, blunder. Now, if knight g4 is a mistake, then we got to figure out what, if anything's wrong with d4. And to me, the variation wouldn't end here, because I would be interested in, like, well, what if I take? You know, what if I take? And then if they punch me a little bit and I go back, am I that afraid of bishop h6? I don't know, but this would be the position I would want to evaluate. To evaluate knight g4. All right, h3, poor move. Thank you. Okay. Check to the miserable king. Good. And then this looks like a blunder too here with, well, I don't know about blunder. But yeah, this is a blunder, e5. You're just hanging your coconuts. So the natural move would be, you got two nice moves. You got d4 and knight e5. Both of those are nice moves. When you don't like a move, by the way, like here, tell us why. And now you're just losing your mind here with e4. What are we doing? What are we doing? No lo entiendo. You like queen c2 better? Okay. He could still play queen d4 here too. Good. All right. All right. You talk about bishop f6, me maybe being better. You're in big trouble no matter what now. b4. Bishop f6. And now he doesn't defend the knight and goes loco over here, queen g4. What's his biggest problem here? He's not thinking. If he were thinking, he would probably see that his knight was hanging. And you said, thank you very much. And then bishop c8. Let's take on a1 too. Oh, it's all over. Yard sale. Yard sale. Good move. Thank you very much. Move the knight somewhere. Ooh, buddy. Yes, it is. Very simple, nice play. Bishop c4 check to the miserable king. And actually, Stockfish finds this nice mate. Great. Now, a lot of people actually, they'll be like, Kraai, why do I have to do the mate in twos? And it's actually not to... it's nice to see the mate here with rook d1. But really, the mate in twos are about patterns and visualization. And in this position, like, I don't care that he missed it, you know? I don't care. He's crushing this fool. Did we muck it up a little bit here? Boom. Oh, baby. So he's criticizing himself, but I feel like he played besides losing his mind with the sequence of, what was it, e5 and e4, nice, did fine. Also, let's just say something. John, get religion about development. So think about this. It's not a developing move, okay? I don't care about words like French or Dutch. It's not a developing move. Not a developing move, right? So all this stuff you're doing, if you're gonna play c6, d5, you got to do it pronto. And even here, you're all in. You got to play d5, right? You got to do it. Okay, so a little bit more development and maybe a little bit more annotations, but you're doing great. I really like your time usage. Could have maybe been a little bit better at the end, like a little bit more, but well done. All right, so now we have amable. Amable. So let's go over here. I honestly can't believe I'm here again. Another graduation already. I just wrapped up the last cohort 2 weeks ago. Somehow I've flown through this one, mostly playing straight up blunder games alone. By the way, once you pass 1,000, you're no longer puedo to play the blunder games. I didn't even get to play a game in the Classical Open, but hey, goodbye under 1,000 and hello 1,000 plus. Lately, something has just clicked. Although all of my recent games on Chess.com have been clocking in over 90% accuracy, I don't know what exactly connected in my brain, but here I am riding this wild momentum. And I'm curious, how far can this ride go? Maybe it's the creative energy I've been pouring into new content for my YouTube channel, Rotten Chess. It could be that breaking down games and sharing my thought process on camera is helping me process things. Whatever, I'm on fire. Okay, hold on. I gotta do something here real quick. We're gonna take just a little time out. Just a small time out. We're gonna look up Rotten Chess. And we're gonna go Rotten Chess. He's got 2 subscribers. We're gonna give him another subscriber. Oh, it's not letting me subscribe. How come? I don't know. Maybe I'm on the Dojo account, it won't let me. Let's just see what some of the things he's saying.
Exploring the Vienna Gambit, or also known as the Vienna game.
Okay.
You can see the position of the game on the top left side of the screen. We're going to start off with the king's pawn opening. e4, e5 is required to start the Vienna game. To play the Vienna gambit, we're going to go to knight c3.
Okay, Rotten Chess, cool. That's great that you're doing that. I'm just going to admit, I pictured you as an adult. I think it's great, though. It's great what you're doing, man. You're on fire. Let's go take a look at Amable. So, he's working. On Discord, his name is Knuckles. Look at that huge game the dude's got. Just a massive spike recently. Clubs. The Dojo Latino Americano. I feel like it should just be, if it's in Mexico, same way we have the Asian club bothers me. I think Latino Americano bothers me. Yes, you can do one like a Spanish-speaking one or whatever, but come on. Now, if there was a Mexican, if you're in Mexico, we got to say, hey, I'm in Mexico. All right, so let's go take a look at Amable, see how he's crushing some people. And here we go. This is against Dan, fairly recently. Do we got a time graph? We do. What's going on? Well, Dan ain't thinking. Very typical at this level, right? Okay. So, he says he knows he played too fast. Oh, it was not Dan. Excuse me. Oh, no, it was Amable doing it. Oh, and he's a kid, and he's playing Blitz, and now this happens to him. Oh, man. That's a bummer. Come on, Amable. Let's go, buddy. Let's go. We can't be doing that. Oh, and actually, I already reviewed this one. So he hasn't done another one since, because he's graduating so fast. So, Amable, you're killing it, obviously. You're going to graduate again. One of the things I just want adults to understand that could be conceived as depressing is the kids are gonna progress faster, right? They are going to progress faster. Next up, we have Aelnor. Look at this, Kraai. Are you going to really finish today? I don't know. I don't know if you are, buddy. You might not, and that's okay. Skevix, do the Venezuela Club. You might be surprised, too. And if you find somebody there, it'll be like, oh, now that... Like, if you just, like, see somebody pop up in the Latino channel, you don't know where they're from, but you might find somebody in your neighborhood or something. Okay, here's Aelnor, 1004, crushing it, doing loads of work here. Beginning in January, just absolutely flailing with the tactics and the games. Not flailing, crushing. No clubs. We don't know anything's going on with Aelnor. We do have a game, though. And this one, oh my gosh. He says, my first longer game. I think I could have managed the time better. Indeed. Now, one of the things I just want to say, just, your experience and probably others, when you play a first longer game and your opponent is blitzing you, there can be that temptation to rush it as well. So a lot of times when I see somebody moving too fast, one of the dojo opponents, we also sometimes have the same problem at that, moving too fast. Okay, here we go. And I just going to want to put it out front. I am not, I already did this one. I'm not going to be able to finish today. So we're going to do another show tomorrow. But I'm going to get a couple more done. So that was Aelnor. And someone asked earlier why I stopped going over a specific game. In that case, I had already gone over that game. Wait a second. Amable is saying I'm an adult. We got to go look at his thing, man. I got the wrong one. All right, hold on. Let's try this again. At Rotten Chess. Amable is in the Amable Cruise at Rotten Chess. Okay, cool. Chess Dojo Spring Round Robin Tournament. Okay, cool. This is great. Okay, time out. We're going to bring this up here. Here we go.
Welcome to the channel. If you're looking for some good, masterful grandmaster chess, you're in the wrong place. But if you're looking for some rotten, terrible chess, well, sit right down and enjoy. On today's video, we're going to be playing the 2025 springtime round robin for the Chess Dojo. My opponent, it's already knows I'm streaming this live. We're gonna do a post-mortem afterwards. I'm playing as black. My opponent is playing as white. And let's see what are the results. I got my music ready to go. Let me see if my opponent is ready to jump right into this. We have him on Discord. He hasn't responded to me yet. So I know he already confirmed that he'll be here today, so I'm not concerned about being stood up. Well, in the meantime, let me get some music going, get in the vibe, get in the groove. Also, I'm not going to be looking at the chat. I will not be looking at the chat during the game. I do not want.
All right, just fast forward a little bit. Oh, he's playing Jared Hall, and Jared Hall's definitely in the program. So yeah, this is a Dojo game 30-30. This is pretty fun, man. Yeah. Totally cool. And I think it's because I'm logged into the Dojo account that I can't subscribe, but I put a link into our Discord for people to go check out Amable's channel.
I also have this move here to take here.
We want him to see that he's threatening b4, threatening knight e4. So white should probably play something like f3. Jared Hall's tanking on this one pretty good. I just want to take it in a little bit. I really enjoy, by the way, the Dojo really enjoys, if you put any kind of chess content up that related to the Dojo, it helps us, but it's also just encouraging. You know, it's just encouraging. Now you can tell Amable played way quick here.
When I see in his games, he does a bishop opening, and usually when you do a bishop opening, you had this bishop will end up being here, and that would be very annoying because now it's attacking this vulnerable pawn, and that becomes a bane of existence. So when if we would have done the bishop opening, I would have immediately attacked that bishop, so it would avoid the. I want to get that bishop out of the game, so it won't be controlling what I'm doing. The idea between this, I call it the 150 attack. This is when the idea is to do a pawn storm. So he's gonna want to do this, and this, and this, and bring it all the way down here. But the problem is that when I see this is happening, I don't castle. So even if he makes it all the way down here, he's not gonna get to my king because my king is in the middle. And but look at my pawns though. I'm already started in my pawn storm. So if he castles over here, this is all coming up. Pop. Plus my queen is gonna be here. I'm gonna be here. It's gonna be crazy. Crazy balls.
Definitely gonna be crazy, yeah.
So
you can tell that he's watched some videos too.
Is that try to jump. I'm gonna do my pawn storm first.
Yeah, he's done some like courses or something. He knows about that 150 attack with the f3.
If I could get rid of the bishop or that dark square bishop or the queen, obviously, that'd be the best thing to do.
And actually, I don't know why is it called the 150 attack. I'm gonna ask Gemini.
We have tactics here. We have the tactic also. I can attack this. Since this pawn is not protected and this kind of it only has one defender, I could attack the knight. So when the knight moves, so let's say the knight moves here, I could take here, and now I'm attacking here, and I'm attacking here.
The 150 attack in the perk is named for its straightforward nature, making it easy for players with a rating of around 150 English. By the way, that's an old system. They now have the normal system. to play effectively without a deep understanding of opening theory. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. All right, here we go. Let's continue.
Because it's actually one of the most aggressive attacks against my opening. So if you're going to play against me, this is the most aggressive attack against my opening. I'm going to prepare better now.
Bishop b2. Now, will he play b4?
Ah, see?
b4, knight takes e4. You win the game, Amable.
Now he's doing signs of going to this side. So I'm going to bring up
No!
my knight here.
So, okay, let's just say that was good to watch. I think, first of all, I'm very thankful for this, like putting the dojo out there. Beautiful. And the critique that we want to give for Amable here is, dude, you needed to think and realize that the whole reason they must play f3 is to prevent b4, knight takes e4. All right. So we're going to continue. That was cool, though. Boom. Over here, boom. So, where are we here? Where are we? Are we on, we did Aonor. Did I do Destreich? All right, I don't think so. So, this dude's into school, cycling, spending time with my partner. Okay, looks good. Yeah, looks great. We got some clubs over here. Canada. Okay, nice. And we got 35 people in Canada. We need more of that. I think they're confused, though, or they might be diluted because we got 2 Canada clubs, CFC in Canada. I think there's also some local clubs, too. Games. We got some games from Destreich. I don't know if I'm saying that right. We got Martin against Devon here. All right, here we go. So, I'm playing a higher rated opponent. I think it's an OTB. We don't have clock times. So, we'll just get in here. Weird. Now, this is an interesting gambit. And right, they kind of like to sack. On DE4, they like to play knight C3 and queen E2. I think this has got to be okay. C5. Takes D4. Okay, let's develop our pieces. Fine. Fine. Probably okay. And this one makes me nervous, bishop D6. Because now when he takes, he's going to be opening up all of his coconuts. So, poor move, not developing. Okay. Good. Probably poor, because now your pawn on D5 is so strong. Knight D4, let's just bring it back. I would have rather seen bishop D7. But now bishop G4, knight, okay. Snip, snap, knight D4. This guy's a trading machine. I don't want you to take that thing. He should have taken with the queen. All right, I don't understand that move. Okay, I'm not sure I get it either. F3, rook E6. So notice what happened. You were getting frisky with this rook E6, E4 stuff, but the pawn is beautiful here. It wants to be on light squares anyway because your the white bishop's controlling the dark, and it's dominating the queen. So now white all of a sudden has a nice little positional advantage. I would have taken once if I was black. Okay, this is a difficult endgame. This would be very interesting to see the times because, as we've seen, we often see games like this where somebody is moving way too fast. Okay, let's get into it. King F8, King D2, and now what we need to see is that white has a concrete threat of bringing the king here. If it gets there, it's all over for us, right? So knight D7 is the critical move. We still might be toast with a move like B4, though. Yeah, we still might be toast. We have to spend a tempo dealing with this. So imagine F6. c3, king e7, king b3, king d6, king a4. This is at least what worries me. And you can see that the white king is getting in. So that's the kind of variation we would like to put in there. Okay, so king e7, big mistake. King c3, exclam. King b4, good move. Here I like king a5 even better than bishop g7, but it's all winning. Yeah, I guess it's going to transpose, right? Nice move. Toast. Yep. Okay. So, one thing we want to just stress is you played pretty good in the opening, and a couple quick things we want to just note. Okay, so back here. You need to be hyper-focused on castling. So the most natural move would be takes, and here, and castle. Get out of there. Get out of there, buddy. Bishop f5 is maybe not bad, but I'm worried like you're going to get whacked at some point, right? So, for example, after he castles, we don't really have a great move, and we let him do this to us. Now, he doesn't take advantage of it. He starts losing time like a maniac. Yeah. And now you're doing fine. Now, bishop d7. Just hold on to the position. Oh, he should have taken. Now like bishop g4, bishop e4. Oh, and now he finally gets to resolve his grief. And now I want you to see that when you took, the problemito is now your dark squares are all messed up. Now, in this position, what do we want? You're still okay with a move like knight d7. You got to fight for them dark squares. Okay, I got one more in me, and then I'm about cooked. And that's going to be Christoffel Verlinden. I might get two, we'll see. But here we're going to do Christoffel Verlinden. Lancaster FC. Thank you for following. Lancaster, isn't Lancaster the one that the Saudis bought? Dude, is that the one? Or am I getting that mixed up? So 1160, he's crushing. Look at that. Very nice. And he's done a lot of opening work. Now we're allowed to do some opening work when we're up here. A little bit anyway. Not much, but a little bit. Do we got some games? We got loads of games. And he's been around here since 2024, but hasn't done any game annotations since then. In general, I want to have it be, within a year or something like that. So let's do one more then. We'll call it, this is Kaboka. Kaboka says, availability to do work has been a bit inconsistent recently due to work and travels, but I feel the quality of work has still been solid to slow but steady progress. And as you can see, Kaboka has graduated numerous times and did quite a bit of work to get this recent graduation. Okay. Yeah, you can see it's a little spotty, but that's okay. It's part of life. So 1109, clubs. Asian down under. Now how... the down under dojo, that's pretty good, man. Now, should I yell at them to be a little bit more specific? Maybe. But it is definitely a time zone thing for them, so I get that. That thing's too weird. Anyways. Games. Let's see if we got a game here from Kaboka. We do. Let's see if we got a recent game. We do. This is the famous Jared Hall. Now, if you remember, Jared Hall plays a lot of games in these tournaments, and it was Jared Hall who was playing a Mable, where he blundered with bishop e2, allowing b4. Okay. Christoffel's here. Well, let's go look Christoffel. Well, let's go back for a second, actually. We'll go over here. Christoffel. Open it up. Games. Did I say you didn't? That's weird, actually. Okay, wait. You did have one. But wait a second. Okay, this is actually a dojo problem, because what happened was I looked in the My Games, and then I didn't see anything. So the question becomes, how come? All right, this is a problem for Jack. So, Christoffel, just bear with me a second. We're trying to make it be very clear. Game. I want to try to make things easier for people, and really, if people upload a game, it should automatically go to my games. And so we're still having a little grief with that. All right, let's go take a look at this one. And we'll come back to Gerald Hall and Kaboka, and then we're going to call it. So first of all, time graph. Look at this thing. Pretty, what is going on here? White got himself a 0. Just interesting. Normally, it would give you a little bit of something, even if you were really dramatically below the green line. Okay. And black didn't do too well here either. Interesting. Okay, game review. Good to see, by the way, that people are thinking. I would yell at them more if they were not thinking. Fine, fine, fine. Little funky. Maybe playable, though. That looks too much. Now, am I certain? I'm not 100% certain. Maybe this is, it's a pretty hot move to play knight b5. Okay. So, definitely dc4 feels like a resigns move. He talks about e5 and all this other stuff. I guess queen a5 would be my question. What's going on there? Knight d2. And it's definitely going to be hot here because we're going to lose the center. I just want to give a sample variation. See, we lose the center, and the knight will eventually be lost as well. So very spicy position. Bishop b4 might happen. Knight e4 might happen. I don't know what's going on. I just know it's going to be super spicy. That's a fail, though. Thank you very much. You talked about e3, but this should just all be winning. The king is blocked off all the stuff. Bishop d2 seems safer. That isn't it. And now you're killing. Yeah, beautiful. So, well, that was a good game. Good annotation. And you talked a lot about knight a8. And you say, here I captured because I wanted to make the position less complicated. It does look like it should be winning. Yeah. It's such a bummer that the king has to go to e7. And this dc4 just made no sense. So I believe fully that this should be winning. Jake talks about queen a5. Absolutely. That's the question. Right? That's the question on knight b5. And dc4 was definitely not it. We're looking at queen a5. Yeah. And Jake is mentioning knight d2, e5. Maybe that. Yeah, that's also interesting. But the other one scares me even more. Frozone says knight b5 was the best move according to Cheskov. Okay. It might be. It's just we're going to see why we feel it's scary, though, right? Okay, well done. And now this is Jared Hall against Kaboka. And this was a very nice, let's go time graph. Very nice use of sides from both sides. Dojo Spring Tournament. You can see Jared plays all the time. Okay, great. So, we'll go game review. Okay. Fine. Good move. I think that's a good move. Snip. Okay. This is good. You're doing great. B6. Now, that looks like a blunder to me. You played bishop, or they played bishop e3. Actually, I've been saying... you're going to be fine after bishop e3. But this is the question. What happens on... Oh, there's no b5. Sorry, my bad. My bad. I thought it's a little bit loopy for me, you know, because it is... I've been doing this so long today. But I thought it was protected. It is not. Knight d4, I guess, is another interesting question that he should be addressing. Bishop e3 doesn't scare us, though. And now we're just going to play queen a5, and we're doing great. Good. Knight e7, please. Ooh. Now, why do I want knight e7? Oh, because I want you to develop. But bishop a4, you could probably do it. Queen c7 worries me a little bit. He doesn't do that. Knight e7, good. Castles. Castles. Now, the question about castles is precisely what happens, and that is, does knight g5 scare us? I definitely feel knight g6 is the main question to be asking white, and g6 scares me. Now, it doesn't mean it's losing or something, it just means it scares me. He plays queen d3, and if he wanted to cruise over there, then maybe queen c3. Now, he's got a lot of interesting moves that we should probably annotate here. A real basic one is queen c7, just to try to get a better endgame. And right, if queen c3, then I guess we still play h6 and send the knight packing. Right? Maybe it might be anyways. Anyways, this wasn't it. h6, good move. Knight e6, just full blunder. You can take with the pawn or the queen. Thank you very much. Thank you. Trade off. Queen f5. Good. Good chess. Simple. Now we just need to convert. Shouldn't be that hard. That isn't it. Rook a b8. I like rook c2. Rook c2. Good. Scares us a little bit, but we have knight c6. Rook e8. Okay. Rook e6. Fine. d4 also looks good. Fine. Beautiful. Check to the miserable king. Check to the miserable king. Okay. And he doesn't resign. Jared Hall, you got to resign, buddy. It's time to give it up. Okay, you guys, I'm going to stop there, and I'm going to continue hopefully tomorrow. I think I should have the time. So tomorrow we will begin with the famous Kay Borman, who has graduated numerous times. We still got not a long show, but a decent show tomorrow. So I'm going to write it down. Grad show starts with Kay Borman. Okay, my friends, that's it. I got to get out of here.